Hello everyone, so today we're going to be driving the JAECOO J5. So the main difference on the JAECOO J5 is that there is no gear over here in the panel. The gear is on the things over here. So the car starts on parking mode. I cannot leave it. I need to first put the seat belt, and now I need to pull this thing down to the D. So that's how we can go from parking to driving. And if I want to go to reversing, I just need to push this up. And now I'm on reversing mode, and also I can see my screen over here with the camera for reversing and also going forward as well if I'm going forward somewhere. So if I'm going forward, now I can see how forward can I go, and if I'm reversing, I can see how backwards I can go. So now going forward and doing the test drive, the JAECOO is quite silent, so there won't be any problems or issues in terms of driving. Usually the range I'm seeing is about 4 kilometers per 1%, which is quite not bad because I'm using the aircon. I'm not actually in the saving mode. Like I use the normal mode, as you can see. I can also change the mode. I'm using the normal mode, but I'm actually not worrying about not being full efficient with the car. So I'm very like normal about my driving and my speed. I don't really mind about saving battery. We have also the regen levels. So in this case, we have the energy settings, and we have the low, which is the one that when you turn off and turn on your car usually is with. So I like the energy low because it's a kind of bearable regen compared to the medium and the high. So changing on to the medium regen, I can see the car already like starts to pull a little bit more, which for me still is fine because it's actually not that bad. It's actually not that bad, and the car still drives fine. But whenever you put the car on regen high, that's the moment I feel the car starts to pull the most. So the driving, it takes some time to adjust to reversing and doing parallel parking and everything. I feel the brake, the regen and everything, it's quite adaptable once you get used to it. Like now is my second week. So on my second week, I already feel way more comfortable. I can also have some vehicle settings, so I can adjust, for example, the brake pitch control. I can adjust the steering force, so I can use either comfort or sport. I can also change the brake sensation mode. Because the brake is very sensitive, I usually try to put on the sport, but it's fine to drive if you're driving on the road, but very strange when you're doing parallel parking or basically, trying to park on tight spots. Because when you're trying to park in tight spots, it feels like the brake is all or nothing. So it's a very strange feeling, and usually it's all or nothing in terms of braking, in terms of how it will go, how it will work. So now you can see I'm on regen high. It already pulls quite a bit. Like it's basically becomes a one pedal driving, but I think it's not actually similar to a Tesla, right? With a Tesla, you have the one pedal driving, which feels very natural, but with this one, it feels just like a force brake. And I think that's the main thing that usually people don't use the regen high on this car, because as you can see, the car, it just starts to pull in a way that is different from a Tesla, like it's less natural. In terms of the driver assistance, if you're driving over the wide side of the lane, what the car will do, it will automatically adjust and steer for you, which is a nice thing, but sometimes if you're not used to, is a little bit concerning. Another nice thing as well, you have the cruise control. So if I just click over here, now the car is on cruise control. And one very nice thing that unfortunately you guys won't be able to see because the camera is a little bit too far, but the car has a detection. I don't know how this detection works, but it can detect the speed of the road. And you can also enable on the settings over here the speed alert detection. So for example, when the speed limit changes from 60 to 40, you receive a warning, like it will be just a sound warning, but as well you can put one warning above your speed limit. So if you are over 60, you can automatically receive a warning if you're above the speed and you don't want to receive fines, which is quite nice. In terms of the cruise control, the car has automatically braking and speeding, which they also say, I haven't tried yet, that is very handy for like traffic jam. I haven't tried yet. Once I was using the cruise control, a car suddenly just braked in front of me. The car is really responsive because of course it cannot counter as our eyes, right? In terms of like how long the car would take to turn left or right. So it just tries to be careful, which is reasonable, right? For a car like this, you just want your user to be safe and not having any accident. So in terms of the reverse parking, as you can see, now I will just put in the reversing mode, and now I have my cameras. I have the 360, I have an idea over here of where I am in the car spot, and I get to say this is pretty accurate. And as well, if you are against a wall, you receive a warning over here about the distance that you have against the wall. For example, 70 centimeters or more. If I go forward, I also get the camera. But this camera is a little bit strange because sometimes I do get this camera, others it doesn't show up. It just show up a small icon over here. So it's kind of a hit and miss, the forward camera. The reversing camera is pretty accurate. I also can use this button over here on my steering wheel, which is a custom button, like a favorite button. And then once I click it, it goes into the camera again. So that's basically what the car can offer. And in terms of driving and control, I think is one of the best drivings I've had. Like, being honest, is a very smooth driving. The car goes from 0 to like driving into no time, and also is very quiet and smooth. All my friends who even have Teslas, they get surprised, they get shocked. They're like, wow, this car is actually pretty good, bang for the buck. So I think that's basically everything, guys, like in terms of the driving. Yes, it takes a time to get used to this hour nothing braking, but it's mostly when you're doing parallel parking or you're doing reverse parking that you try to get used to it. Apart from that, if you're just driving normal in the road, it's pretty fine, it's safe. I'll also show you now in the roundabout where I'm going to signal left, and if I'm below 30 kilometers per hour, it will show the camera to me. So I will just try to go a little bit slower. Now you see the regen high is kicking in, it's a little bit forced, and now you can see my camera is just warning me, like for example, if there's a cyclist, I'm basically reversing, going slow into the brake. Now I'll put forward, and now show me this camera, which for me is not very useful. I really like the other one, but I don't know why it showed me this one over here. And the accuracy of the sensor is not super great because I know I won't hit the pillar over here, but it still shows me as I was going to hit this pillar. So it's fine. And the moment I start going back, you see that I have the sensor, and that's it. And over here, I have the distance in centimeters of my front.